And the fact that, do we forget that, like, just, like, breathing this air is, like, a miracle? Like,
Literally.
like, what are you thinking about? Like, it's like, we're here, so you can literally, like, do anything, like, just seize it and just do it.
Welcome to the Business Mindset Podcast, where we document the stories of Black entrepreneurs around Canada. I am your host, Nina Barango, and together we will explore the world of entrepreneurship through the journeys of our incredible guests. Let's get started. Hi, Zoba. How are you?
Fine.
Do you want to tell us a bit about yourself and what you do?
Yes. What was that?
So much energy. I love it.
Yeah, my name is Chizoba Udeh-Martin, and I'm the founder of the fashion brand Zoba Martin. Right now, Zoba Martin is based in Toronto. And yeah, I guess the more we talk, the more you learn about what I do and my talent.
Yeah. How long have you been doing this for, fashion designing and all of that?
I've been doing it I started fashion school 2014, but before that I went to Nigeria. I think it was 2012 or 2013. I had like a summer break when I was in uni, and I had like a 2-month summer break, and I decided to learn a skill all the extra time I had. I went to fashion school, and it was nice. I was learning a lot. Like, my mind was too stimulated, but the commute wasn't really like flexible for me, so I stopped. I decided to give it a try again when I'm done with uni, so I can entirely focus on it.
Right.
And that was when I came to Toronto for fashion school.
Where were you before?
In
Oh, man, 2014, those are the good old days, eh? Like, now, like, I mean, I feel like, I remember, I was in Toronto 2014, I think so. I think I had just come, I was still new in Canada. Things were cheap. Rent was affordable.
I remember, like, when I first moved to Toronto, I was paying the same amount as Ottawa in Toronto, but the apartment was way smaller, and I brought all my stuff confidently to, like, move into the apartment, and it was so small. I had to, like, my couch could not fit my TV.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I left it outside, sold it, and I just put my bed on the floor and started crying because I'm like, my life has been condensed into this small.
Yeah.
But, like, over time, the more I go into school, the more I work, like, I was able to, like, get myself into, like, a more comfortable
Fair. So tell me a bit about fashion school in Toronto. What was that like for you?
It was, okay, my school was a private school. Like, I don't know, after I graduated, it lasted like another year before they closed down. And to this day, I'm super lucky that I found that school. It was a private school, a smaller school, like 10 students. And I had my teacher one-on-one, and it was just because it was a smaller school, they skipped all the, like, the fashion theories and, like, the history of fashion and all that. We just went to the basics.
Straight to the point.
Yeah, straight to the point. And that was what I enjoyed, because I'd already spent 4 years in uni, 4.5 years actually. And then I didn't want to spend another 4 years in fashion school. So I was so lucky I found this school that was just 2 years. And it was nice. I remember my classes were 8 to 1. And I would stay there till like 6 p.m.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, like, after fashion school, was that when you released your first collection?
Yeah, after fashion school, like, my final project was my first collection, which I released. Like, we had a fashion show to, like, wrap up the program, and people received it well. I'm like, you know what, I'm doing this. This was in 2016. I was just like, you just have all these fabrics, all these colors, that you can create whatever from your mind, and people will wear it. Like, yeah, sign me up.
Must feel so powerful, man. Like, imagine, like, what I love the most when I speak to people that own businesses is, like, people that, for lack of a better word, like, accidental entrepreneurs. Like, you kind of, like, found your passion first before it became a business, and then you were just like, oh, why not? And then you just took it from there, because, like, I just find that, like, they last longer, because, like, that thing keeps fooling you, as opposed to, like, when it's like, oh, I need to make money, let me start a business. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that difference is definitely telling when you, like, speak to entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I just think about, that whole idea it just puts so much pressure on your business, and, like, you're doing it for, like, a different reason, as opposed to like
doing what you enjoy. Yeah.
I used to, so when I finished school, in 2016, I didn't, even if even though I released my collection, I didn't go straight into like, oh, full time. Like I worked for like 2 years at an insurance company because the way it is in Canada, you have to work and you have to like
Yeah, PR.
yeah, I did
stuff.
PR.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it was I don't even call it company. It was bleep out. It was an insurance company.
Yeah.
And he was paying me. I'm like, oh, you pay me every week. Like I was making money, but I just remember like I'll take like 15 minutes break to just go outside, soak up some sun, and be like, is this my life?
Fair. Because that's not your passion. That's not what excites you. So obviously there's a difference when you're working on something for a paycheck versus working on something that you enjoy.
Yeah. I did that for like, I did for 2 years. And then like I remember I went in January of like, I think it was 2019 when I quit. I went in January and I'm like, okay, let's do this. And I signed in. I'm like, let's do it. Like I took all this break off. Let me do it. I'm like, I cannot do it. I know. So I just like handed in my resignation. When I just said, I don't know how it's going to happen, but we're going to do it. But I got a lot of savings from my previous job, right? So
Okay. So 2019, you went full time.
That was when I went full time. That was when I went full time. So like 5 years. That's when I'm like, okay, I'm paying my rent off Zoba Martin. I'm feeding myself off Zoba Martin. Like this is my bread and butter now. And I'm scared, but I'm going to do it. Like I don't know how it's going to work, but it's going to work. And I just went with that motivation and I just have been doing it.
Wow. Was that when you started working more so bridal clients, or because I think that's kind of how I found you? Like I was trying to get an outfit for a wedding, and was that when you started like, okay, since I'm doing full time now, maybe I can start, I have more capacity to take on more work?
Okay, so before, my love for bridal started when I was working at a bridal store in Toronto, and I was just like surrounded by large gowns, like big, beautiful, white, like sparkly, like beaded gowns, and that just like inspired me a lot. And we were like altering dresses for people. We're not making them from scratch, like altering. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna charge people the price of altering the dress and see like. And the girl I knew, she was my friend, and I was like, can I make a wedding dress? And she's like, yes, please. But that was my very first wedding dress, and she just entirely trusted me to make it just from my experience of working in a bridal shop, right? So that was still while I was working at the
insurance company. Yeah. Okay.
So I made her wedding dress. She loved it. And she paid for a vacation for me after that. I'm like, okay, thank you. And so I posted that, and that opened more doors for bridal. Like I was advertising myself as a bridal designer, and people were reaching out to me to make their dresses. Like someone would come from Calgary. This girl came. She flew in from Calgary. I'm like, you flew in from Calgary? I'm making your dress. Like, so it was the bridal shop I worked in that inspired me. Also, my aunt, like when I was barely 13, I saw her make her wedding dress. She made a ball gown from scratch, and she added like pearl details on the sleeve. Yeah, like my dress has pearl.
maybe just flows in your DNA, like.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so like that also planted the seed of bridal in my mind. Yeah.
I want like the outfit you made for me for my friend's wedding, like till today people still talk about it. Like I remember because it was COVID. No, it was 2021. It was I think. Yeah. I was just like, I need to make an outfit for my friend's wedding. I've seen your work online. I've heard people talk, because I think around that time you had also done the tissue paper dress that went viral. So like you were going, like your stuff were like popping off, like it was getting more popular. So I was like, okay, my best friend is getting married. I need something that is like not your regular ashwebi, because like ashwebi, for if you don't know, it's like what Nigerians wear in weddings, and like a lot of time it's not versatile. You can't wear it again. Quite frankly, outside of a wedding, it doesn't even make sense as an outfit
unless you're wearing the church,
right? And let's be for real, like so. I remember coming to him just being like, I want a 2-piece like corset type with like wide leg pants, something that I can wear on another day, but something that when I wear to this wedding, I'm like stunning, like I feel confident, I feel beautiful. I was shocked. I like till today, funny enough, my friend's mother-in-law still calls me like the monkey suit lady, because she thought it was a monkey suit, and like till today, like that dress, that outfit was the moment. But so okay, so you went viral from that tissue paper dress. Like, how did that change your business? Like, was it just like an instant overnight influx of people coming in, or was it just like steady, slow, but you were seeing like more opportunities opening up?
That definitely opened a lot of, like, it was the start of like people like appreciating and loving my work. Cause I just like I made the I partnered with Cashmere to make a fat bathroom tissue dress for a breast cancer awareness. So I did that, and I just had the video on my phone and posted it, and I'm like, okay, like I post my work normally.
Yeah.
And then I woke up and then it's like, you know how they have the likes like 100? I'm like, why is it, what's happening? What's happening? And then I opened, I'm like, oh, Shadru had posted, and like everybody saw it, and I got like people like messaging me saying they wanted me to make stuff for them. And that just like, because it went viral, and like more people learned about my brand. And yeah, that was nice, because I spent a lot of time making this.
Do you remember how long it took?
Oh, I worked on it for like a span of 2.5, 3 months. Yeah, it was just always there, like, because my studio was in my house. So I just wake up and I'm like, what did I did now? Start working on it over time.
Right.
I made another one.
Oh yeah,
I did. I just have the video on my. You know how they say, like, I don't know why. I have it. I just haven't shared it.
You just haven't shared it.
It's been over a year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, honestly,
yeah.
Honestly, you're not the only one in that struggle. I find that sometimes, like, it's just there's a level of fatigue that sets in when it comes to like editing stuff you already have, putting it out there, consistently like showing up on social media as well. But like, I'm curious, like, so far, what has been your favorite part of like being a fashion designer in Toronto, like, or even just like running your business? Like, you've definitely had so many highlights, like whether it's your viral video on TikTok, whether it's your Dragon's Den page, which we will talk about, whether it's working on a costume for Drake's video, like you've definitely had highlights. But I'm curious, what's your personal favorite moment from your journey so far?
Oh my God. I wasn't expecting that.
Anything. It could really be.
It could be. I just like that I'm here and I'm doing it. Right?
She's like, I'm happy to be here. Like, that's what matters.
Honestly, like every morning when I wake up, I'm like, I'm glad I'm here. Like, who knows when the world, like, what is gonna unfold, right? Just being here is like, yeah.
But okay, so that tissue dress, can I call it the tissue dress? Because that's what it's in my head. That tissue dress, it went viral in the pandemic, right? Or was it? It was during the pandemic, right?
I don't remember.
That whole period is very blurry in my mind. But like, I guess I'm wondering, like, a lot of businesses suffered. It either suffered during the pandemic or blew up like a rocket ship during the pandemic. What was your, like, which one was applicable to Zoba Martin? I feel like I know the answer to it, but like maybe from a brand owner's perspective, it was different. But like, would you say like the pandemic really affected your business or really promoted your business?
The pandemic taught me ways to pivot. Like, if something isn't working, like, what else can you do, right? Like, a lot of people were making masks then. I was like, I started like donating.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I started teaching people how to sew. I started making dresses for like smaller weddings. Like, and at the time I was working from my house, right? So I didn't really have like a lot of overhead. So like my expenses were not super high then. So it's like, okay, what else can we do to like step out of this, or like, you know, navigate this whole situation?
And it must have been very nerve-wracking for you, because at that point you were maybe just 1 year into full-time entrepreneurship.
Oh yeah, I was 1 year into yeah. Because full-time entrepreneurship was 2019 January. So it was a year, because I remember I went to Nigeria and I came back, and then it happened. Somehow, like, even if like it was still at the point where, you know, I just started, like, so like, there was really like nothing to compare it to, right? So like this first year was like my beginning year, so I was very lenient with myself. I'm like, okay, whatever, like, as long as money is coming in, like, yeah,
fair,
that's great. So yeah, then I didn't really like I just found other ways to make up for that, like, to still keep making money. And a lot of people wanted to learn how to sew, and people were still having weddings. I
That's
did
true.
have a lot of clients canceled. Now I think I'm forgetting. You know, like once they say someone had
And then you forget the struggle.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
So a lot of people were canceling because obviously they had to push their weddings out.
Yeah,
Right.
canceled that. They're asking for a refund. I'm like, I didn't expect.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
tricky. That's tricky.
yeah.
But I guess I'm a bit curious. Like, at the beginning, no overhead. You were working out of your home. Things were still a little bit more controllable in terms of costs. And then you were able to pivot, which I really like that you mentioned, because I found that businesses that survived the pandemic were businesses that were able to pivot. Like the ones that were too stuck in their ways, like maybe didn't have flexible systems, or maybe they just weren't privileged to be able to pivot, because unfortunately there's people that are just stuck. They were not as successful as others that were able to like find other avenues, like you said, face masks. But I'm a bit curious, like, are you still coaching people or teaching people how to sew? Like, are there any aspects of those new outlets you introduced into your business that are still here and relevant post-pandemic?
Yeah, the coaching I do like when I have free time.
Okay.
Like when I have free time, because I also feel like a lot of people don't know. Like a lot of people don't know how to sew, and some people want to learn. And it's like something that everybody used to know how to do. So like that's my okay. I feel like it's almost like a what's the word for it? Like it's just
Your
my
way
way of
to
like
give
giving
back.
Exactly. Yeah. I want to call it an obligation, but like because I
Fair.
actually do love teaching.
Fair.
Yeah, so it's like if I know someone wants to learn, like I have one-on-one with them and teach them, it just makes me so happy seeing them. Like, if I know you can fix your outfit that is maybe faulty, instead of throwing it out, like that's nice, right? So as much as possible, I like to teach people how to sew.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about Dragon's Den.
Oh Lord, yes, let's do it.
Let's talk about Dragon's Den. How did that even happen? Because I remember coming on Instagram and just like, what?
Yeah.
Because I guess let me explain why I was so mind blown and honestly inspired. I'd been following Dragon's Den for a while because obviously I'm an entrepreneur. It's cool to see big things that are being done. But it had always seemed so far-fetched. Like, so you have to be at a certain level. You have to know certain people to break in. But then I guess seeing somebody that I had known, like I had worked with, like it just seemed like, oh wow, like this is possible. And it was so inspiring. But let's backtrack before I start fangirling. Like, how did Dragons Den come about? And what was that like for you?
Dragons Den came from because I had an interview with Blog TO. They talked to me about my brand and asked me for my goals and like where I was headed. And then we had that conversation. Then I got a message like Dragons Den wants you. I'm like, this is spam. My most mind-blowing thing about Dragons Den is that they wanted me there in 10 days. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, you have a year and a half to prepare.
Right.
It was like, oh, we're casting and we just want you to, come and do it. I'm like, oh, I have 10 days. I called my friend Elizabeth. Shout out to Elizabeth Azuya because
What would you do without her?
because actually it was one of the clients I made her wedding dress for.
Oh, okay.
And she didn't have her wedding because of the pandemic. Literally 3 weeks before the pandemic. So she did not have her wedding. So I'm like, we're like talking about ways to like spice up my pitch and all of that. She's like, oh, your numbers, like all of that. Like I had to like get my accountants to like, get my numbers together. And I'm just like, I'm just gonna do it. Like I was super scared. Like I was really terrified because I'm not like the first person you see in debating club in secondary school. No,
Yeah.
like, so I was like, I'm gonna go talk to these people and then talk to them about my business with my cute numbers. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go like that. I'll just do it. And then she practiced with me. She left her baby for the first time to come spend the night with me. I'm like, bring your wedding dress. We're wearing it on the show. She's like, oh, finally, she has to wear her wedding dress. And then, yeah, so she practiced with me. As I was practicing, I was making the dress. The outfit I was gonna wear to pitch on the show. And she's like randomly like flashcarding me, like asking me questions. And at the end of the day, I was like, you know what, let's just go. Let's do it. And then we went and we did it. I was super scared. I was really scared doing it, but I did it. And it's just one of those things that if I'm faced with the challenge, I'm like, I went Dragon Man. Because I remember how scared I was to do it. Not because I went Dragon Man, because Dragon Man, just because like for me it was terrifying. And I didn't want to say no to it. So yeah, and I did. I'm like, okay, yeah.
honestly, like that thing about showing up when you're scared and doing it anyway, it empowers you so much, like for the future, because like something else could happen and you're just like, no, actually I've done worse. Like I've done more scarier things than this, and so I'm sure I'll be fine. But what, okay, so you did it anyway, and what happened after?
Dragons are just one of those things that happened, and it was like the deal, like even if I accepted the deal on TV, like in real life, now this is the first time I'm saying that like publicly, like I didn't take the deal in real life.
Also, even if you say on TV that you take it, you don't have to.
You're not obligated to anything, like you can just like some people take it and then like sometimes it goes through, and because I was watching like other people's pitch and just like watching the rejection and like what they tell you, and I was just like getting scared. I'm like, oh shit. But yeah, even if it was just like 8 minutes on TV, I was there for like an hour plus. Yeah, they were drilling and asking all these questions. But you know,
also like what they show us is not the full thing.
No.
See, I'm one of those people that believe that what we see on TV is the full thing.
No, it's not. When people see like people's lives on like social media, and you just like, oh, you know that person, or based on something. So like, it's not.
That's true.
It's like always like I personally like always like keep like a gray area where like you don't know, and that's it.
Yeah. So like, what like. Now I'm even more curious because it's like I watched the clip and I was like, oh wow, like she did great, like this is great. Like obviously like those judges, they are like actual shots, they just like come at you.
Yeah, they do.
Almost like they don't know what it feels like to run a business. Like,
you know what, like it's a show at the end of the day.
That's
like,
true.
For entertainment, like they have to like do that.
That's
like,
true.
That's why I remember like after Dragons Den, I was like depressed for like 5 days, like for real. Like I was super sad. Like my friend had to come scraping from the floor to take me out. Like, okay, let's go eat. Let's go do this. Let's go look at other bridal shops and like let's see what we're doing. Like, don't ever like listen to what people are telling you and like think it's true. And the reason why, because I was like, I just felt like first of all, like I just felt like I just, I'm not trying to admit it here, but you know, like I took time to like grow from that. But after that, like what just like clicked in my head, I'm like, it's a show. Yeah, and I don't know why, like I was just sad after it because it was so good. I guess like hearing people this thing that you've nurtured for so long.
Yes.
Like, oh, you know, but then people are just doing it for entertainment, and it's like it's not true. And like you own your life, right? Like you live your life every day. You know your experiences, and you believe your truth, and whatever you believe, like that's your life, right? Like
but that's so real though, like because sometimes when you're nurturing something, you know, and you put it out there for the first time, and then people are just like giving feedback and they're just giving it in a way, true, it's a show, but they're also just giving it in a way like, oh yeah, I'm just giving you feedback. Sometimes it's such a flippant, nonchalant way, and then it's like, but no, this is my work. This is something that I put time, energy, like you were saying, 10 days, no sleep, prep, like and then like somebody from that knows you from nowhere is just like giving feedback at you, and then it's very easy. I guess what I'm trying to say is that like because of how close you are to it, it's very easy to internalize and be like, oh damn, I guess it's only me that sees this thing as what it is. Meanwhile, like so interesting though. Like I just had like a mini ramble just now.
No, because it's like they say what they're saying, and that's how they say,
and they go to bed, like they don't think twice about it.
And it's doesn't mean it's true. Like I got a lot of criticism from Dragons Den that actually helped my business, like some feedback, like, oh, you actually like put your ego aside and hear what they're saying about your business, or like, and then honestly I feel like we all have discernment. Like you can look at the whole picture and like see what works for you and like what you're not gonna take. Like if you don't believe in custom outfit, that's not true. Like there's people out there that want it. Like people spend years making outfits for people to wear, and then they feel like they're wearing art. Like that's a given. Like we're all wearing clothes. People need to, and we need to like the climate of fashion needs to be like paid attention to, because like a lot of people are like, because their focus was on how can we mass produce this outfit.
Yes, that's the vibe I got from them. I'm like, I almost wanted to jump in the screen and be like, she's not Shein, like not to drag Shein, but like it's almost as if they wanted to take fast fashion model and impose it on you, and it's like, no, they're not even the same thing.
Because that's like, you know, like I believe like with fashion there are ways to ethically grow it. Like, I feel like empowering people or teaching people how to sew is actually a good way to grow it. And like, even if the custom pieces are more expensive, like, people treasure that more. And not just custom, because I don't only do custom, I also like do ready to wear as well. Like, you can source your materials ethically, you can, pay your workers well, you can make sure your materials are bad. There are ways you can ethically not mass, but like produce this outfits and just make like, this is it. Like, and when it's sold out, like, that's it. Your next design comes out. It doesn't have to be like until it's like 1 million pieces, like $2 a dress. Like, people don't appreciate it that way and they throw it out. That's what I was trying to tell them, but like, they kept going. And I get it, like, capitalism and all of that. Like, maybe they're not my crowd. Like, West on the street.
Honestly, that's so real. Maybe they're not my crowd.
Yeah.
I watched the clip and I remember at some point rolling my eyes at the questions that were being asked. I'm just like, maybe you guys don't get it, and that's okay. Like,
People that get it.
Yeah. But I guess, like, looking back on your experience from Dragon's Den, I know you've said that there's some things that you got from there that has helped you, like, improve in your business. Would you do it again?
Would I do Dragon's Den again? Honestly, if I'm getting money, for sure I'll do it.
That is too real. That is too real.
Like, if it's like, oh, you're doing it, I'm like, but like, I don't know, like, I don't do it. I don't know, like, I guess you never know until like
That's true. But would you say that, like, your brand got even more exposure from being on Dragon's Den?
No, I did get a lot of support from people, like, and because we shot in May and then it aired in October. So when it aired, like, I already been through like all the emotions. I was like happy.
Oh, that's
out,
true.
right? When I saw the final product, I'm like, oh, that's so nice. Okay, cool.
I can imagine, like, if I thought the edit, like, if I thought some of the questions were still brutal, I wonder what the raw footage must have been like. Them just like going off.
Like, the crying scene was just like one cute tear, but like, it was a whole like, give me a minute.
No, honestly, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, if you don't cry at least here and there, it's too much. It's too much. But okay, I guess I'm a bit curious because you mentioned this, and I remember when I was working with you in 2021, you were working. Your studio was in your house, and now today we're in your actual studio. I walked in here and I audibly gasped. I was like, no way. Like, it's big, it's beautiful, it's like such a dream. How did you go from, I'm a full-time entrepreneur, I'm scared but I'm doing it anyway, to having a studio in your house that was working well, you were getting clients at the time, to now having a full-blown, dedicated space to Zoba Martin?
The idea of that came from a place of tiredness, honestly, because it's like, having my studio in my house, I did not get any self-control. Like, I'll literally be working till 3 a.m. and then I wake up and then I just go straight to work, and like, there was no like, there was
no difference. There was no boundary. Yeah.
So I just said I had to set a boundary. Like, I had to just like start looking at places, and then I just like, the moment I started looking at for a place, I found this shared studio in the same building but downstairs, like just like a whole room, like artists, like with section space. And so I had that. I noticed I was saying I'm tired way less, like 50%. Like, I was less tired. I was more like, okay, I work and then I go home and I rest. When I go home, I can just like watch TV, not watching TV plus guilt of you should be working.
Yeah.
There night.
Yeah.
Just like chilling and making food and just like living your life, right? So I enjoyed that. But the space was getting too small, and I'm like, my studio mate then, she was like, just go look at spaces, like, just like put your mind in the space of like a bigger space, like, just even if you're not trying to like rent it out now, just go look for spaces. I'm like, okay. And then I started doing that, and then like a few months later, like, this place opened, and I came and I looked at it, I'm like, I don't care, I'm taking it. Like, some decisions I made was just like, I'm just gonna do it. And like, yeah.
And like, if you don't make that decision at that point, like, you just keep analyzing and you start talking yourself, you find that you start talking yourself out of it, like maybe finding reasons why you shouldn't, and before you know, the space is gone. It's like, okay, let me just stay here. But do you feel like coming into a bigger space, was that, because I really look at the decisions I make and the actions I take as a form of manifestation. Like, I'm entering a bigger space. That means my business is expanding bigger and I'm getting more clients. And even though, like, I don't know if that was your case for you, but like, even though maybe the situation might not look like it now, but like by putting myself in this bigger space, I'm kind of manifesting that.
Honestly, yeah, you are, because it's like you just put your body in the environment, like, oh, this is what I want to do, like you just, and things just like work.
Align.
Yeah. Granted, when I got to space, like I had to travel like like the night before that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you know,
You're just like, oh, but I just got this space. Now I'm traveling.
I was excited to travel. Like that. Let's go.
Yeah. But so now you have this space. I guess, what does every day look like for you now? Like, there's more boundaries, you know.
There's definitely more boundaries. Yeah, like my life as, you know, as an entrepreneur, and like me trying to like enjoy life too. I just have some things I do like in the morning that helps me. Like when I wake up, like I have to like a little workout. Like I have to like drink some tea, like shower and like do the whole thing, and then come to work and then, you know, unwind. Like that was like, I can't just like, I don't know, like as long as I've been doing this, and that's something that has really helped me. I can't just like jump out of bed and go into it. I have to like have some
Go through your process. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have staff that work with you in this space now, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is that like being an employer?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. I'm learning every day how to, you know, relate with people, especially employees, and, you know, also like talking to them about like how, you know, their work is very valuable and how you want them.
Yeah.
How you actually appreciate it first.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like then, you know, they want to be here. Yeah.
That's true.
Like create a comfortable environment. Sometimes like I, you know, I like folks, but like I just like on the long run, like I just want to make sure like everybody that works in me like understands that, you know, you're wanted here, and, you know, how can we make it comfortable for you?
Yeah. I'm curious to know if you're like taking your learnings from your time in corporate on how to be a better employer.
Oh yeah, because like corporate was just like, you know what, corporate was not for me, because I did not. Let's not make this person about like
corporate. Okay, yeah.
Because I don't want to like start like.
No, I'm just wondering, like, because
yeah.
for me, like, I still work full time and I have my business, but like, I'm also seeing things that, like, okay, maybe if I was an employer, maybe I would, like you said, like, make people find more meaning in the work they do, as opposed to just a paycheck, but it's like meaningful work that you're passionate about. Yeah.
Even like selecting the people that you want to work with,
Yeah.
like, that's very important. Like someone that actually like cares about cares about what they're doing, right? Like it's not like they're putting, you know how we first, I don't know what they talk about it on this one or before, like about not putting so much pressure on your business at the beginning, like, oh, this is you're gonna pay me, you're gonna,
Yes,
like,
yes.
If they just enjoy the process of, you know, creating these spaces, then that's usually very helpful. Then like, you know.
Yeah, fair. But I'm curious, how did you get to working with Drake on his album? How did that even happen? Was that after Dragon's Den or before?
I'm trying to remember. Oh no, I think it was after, because I went to Nigeria and I came back, and then someone messaged me. She's like, "Oh, we have this video shoot going on, and we're looking for a seamstress to come like make something," and like blah, blah, and they're not going to tell me the artist yet. But then eventually they told me, and I'm like, "Oh wait, it's Drake," and I did that, and I worked on like a couple more videos with him, and then like I said, that's how I started working with him.
It was Durag?
It was a Wait For You music video.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And then the Durag Veil, and then there was a
Durag Veil. Yeah, I remember seeing it. And I'm like, how?
Yeah, and then you know what? Something that really helped me, like something that I also say, like as an entrepreneur, is like always like bettering your skills. Like when I went to Nigeria, like I took some other classes, like some advanced classes to like polish my skills, and then I went to Ghana for 2 weeks, and I took like an intense program in Dreams College in Ghana. If you're looking for a fashion school to go to, Dreams College, where you should go. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I went there for 2 weeks, and it was like 6 days of the week I had to go to school, and then like Sundays I have assignments. So I did that for 2 weeks. Ghana was beautiful. Ghanaian food is tasty. Like I enjoyed Ghana, and I'm not going there for the food, but I did go there for enjoyment. You went there for work. Yeah. So honestly, like the course that I made like on this press Drake's video set was literally like what I had just learned.
Oh,
Yeah. And so I was very grateful that I did that. And then from that, we started like working on like a few other music videos.
No, I like that, because something that I find that, and maybe I'm guilty of this as well, sometimes people just get so in the weeds about like the grind of running your business that you forget that you need to also upskill and improve yourself as someone, especially as someone that's offering a service. Like, you need to become better because the world is moving, trends are moving. You need to keep your mind and your skills sharp to be relevant. And by staying relevant, then you're able to scale better because your skills are showing, like your work is getting better. More people are hearing about you, but you're not the same as you were last year.
Always improve, like even like creatively, and then like even like taking like some coaching like classes, like for how to run your business, how to like just jump and make decisions. Like even if I've always been like super spontaneous, like I did join like a coaching program, like just basically like coaching women and helping them improve their business skills. Like I'm like, oh, you probably would tell me to be more like sporadic. You're
like, I was already spontaneous before, but now I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm a bit curious, like looking back, because now we've talked about your journey from 2014 when you came to Toronto starting fashion school to 2024. Now you have your own studio space, you've worked with celebrities, you've pitched your business, you've put yourself out there in one of the most daring ways. Looking back, what is something that you would say to someone that's starting out today? Like, I don't want to frame it as advice because like I find that advice maybe might not be the word, but like something that, hindsight being the best side, you're like, do this instead of this, because when I did that, like it didn't turn out the way I thought it would. Especially someone that's a creative looking to start in fashion or be a seamstress, like what would you say?
Personally, I would say is to trust the process, because I feel like trust what you're feeling, like trust what you're feeling, like trust what you know, right? You have all the information we need when you pay attention, like when you actually like calm the noise, like relax, like you know what you want, and like deep down we have all the answers. You could ask everybody for advice and all of that, but like deep down, like your whole being is telling you what you should do. So like just always listen to that. I don't know how you're gonna listen to that because like everybody's different, but like I feel like you know the truth about your path and you should always honor that, like, and just following that just will translate in different aspects of your life, including your creative side.
That's true. And just to add to that, because you had mentioned this before, when you hear what your mind is telling you, you hear what your gut is telling you, but you're scared to do it anyway, right?
Yeah, just because you know deep down, like nobody had to tell me, do you want to go on Dragons or you don't want to? Like I knew I wanted to go on it. Like no was not an option. But if you don't want to go, like no would have probably been like I just knew I wanted to go, and and you just do it. Like again, when I got this space to like, I did not, like I had like the money fever and that.
Right. I find like a lot of times people are just waiting for the perfect time to have all the money saved, to have all the right people, all your eggs in a row. But like personally, if there's one thing I've learned from like business, it's just like it would never be perfect. Like just do it. Like,
and again, like if that's what you need to do. Like I knew like I needed to move from my house to this. Like I knew that. So like, what else are you waiting for? Like, which other information?
Money sometimes.
You know what? Like you as you are, like you're a resource. Like you can make it. Like you can like. True, like you can actually. True, like if you're like you can.
You're like, actually no, you can.
Yeah, and it also depends on you. Like for me, like my lifestyle is like I didn't like when I first started my business, and it's like I didn't really like I'm just like, okay, I have money to my rent, I'm fine. Like I didn't have like a lot of like things that I was like pressure to myself financially, right? So that kind of made it easier,
right.
And like if you dig deep, like you have ways to like monetize, and what's enough money for you, right? Like you decide like what's enough money for you.
Sometimes start small and then take it from there.
And you can always find what you can share, and you can like collaborate with other people, like that way I guess you can say first, like your team, like it's not just you, right? Like you have people.
Yeah. No, that's a good. No, that's honestly, I personally have learned so much from this conversation, because I would say like I have a similar mindset in terms of like just doing it and then figuring out as I'm doing it.
You're doing it.
Yeah. But sometimes as well, I guess for me, maybe I had been burnt in the past, or maybe I jumped into something and it didn't turn out. So then over time, like a certain level of hesitation I started building into my processes of like, okay, but what if? But like I've learned so much from this conversation, just realizing that actually it's more empowering to do it when you're scared than it is when everything is perfect. Because when everything's perfect, you don't actually appreciate like the work and like the end results, because everything made sense and you just entered it. But like when you do things from a place of trusting your instinct as opposed to waiting for the right situation, then it strengthens you up, one, and it's also quite more fulfilling too. So no, I've definitely learned a lot from this conversation, so thank you very much for but I guess just before we wrap up, like, is there anything you're currently working on that you want people to look out for? Is there anything you want to plug here, like where people can find you? Any exciting things on the horizon for Zoba Martin? Are you launching a new collection? Tell us.
Yeah, I wanted to add to that, because I wanted to add to what you were saying though, before I before, about like I have done some things that I was like I said, like I didn't get any money from Dragon.
Yeah.
Like I've done some things that I'm like, oh okay, but like all of that is part of the beauty and the process, right? Like it's not like, oh, like, you know, it's just part of the story.
Yeah.
And the fact that, gee, like, do we forget that like just like breathing this air is like a miracle? Like,
Literally.
like what are you thinking about? Like it's like we're here, so you can literally like do anything, like just seize it and just do it.
That's so true.
That's enough.
I'm going to journal about that tonight. But yeah, anything exciting that we can look forward to?
Okay, I'll say it. I'm working on a collection right now. I am, and that's happening. I'm sweating as I'm doing it, but I'm just, doing it because it's been a minute since I released the collection. But, I do have to do it. I feel like it's time for me to do it, so I'm doing it. Yeah, you can hire me to, design any outfit for you, guys, girls.
So you work with men?
I do work with men. See, yeah, I was so excited,
Oh, okay.
Making men's outfits, and I actually really enjoy it. I'm like, why not? Yeah.
Interesting. So you do bridal, you do custom. If you have an event, you also do ready to wear. You're releasing a collection soon. Where can people find you online?
My website, zobamartin.com. Instagram, Zoba Martin. TikTok, Zoba Martin. That's it.
That's it?
Yeah. Zoba Martin, like just, you find my website. My website has little mini links where you can reach me wherever, as we just like search Zoba Martin, something will come up. You can come to my studio.
Honestly, come. You were saying that you also rent out your studio for photo shoots. It's such a beautiful space. Like, honestly, I can't get enough of like
pink.
There's just pink everywhere. It's just, but it's not in a like. It's just in a very, very like aesthetically pleasing, naturally beautiful space. So congratulations on like putting this together. I know it must have been a lot of work. Maybe you should consider interior design.
You know what, that's actually like giving me so much confidence right now, because I just always say like maybe the decor is not really my thing, but I'm like, is it really not your thing?
I think it could be. I think it is, and I think you killed it in this space. No, it was great chatting with you, Zoba. I really enjoyed getting to know your journey and learning more about your brand. I'm looking forward to your new collection, and we'll definitely put all the links down below for anyone that may be watching that wants to connect with you. Thank you to you guys for watching and listening. Once again, this is the Business Mindset Podcast. I am your host, Nina Barango, and we'll see you next Monday. Bye.